Alright, let's talk about the change in your pocket. You probably think it's just good for a coffee or a parking meter, right? Well, sometimes it's a whole lot more. Sometimes it's a tiny piece of Canadian history you can hold in your hand. That's what a commemorative coin is. It's a special coin made to celebrate something important. It could be a big anniversary, a famous person, a huge event, or even a national symbol we're all proud of. Think of it as a metal trophy for the entire country, but one that you can actually find in your change. It's a way for all of us to remember the stories that make us who we are. Now, who's making all this fancy money? That would be the Royal Canadian Mint. These are the folks in charge of making every single coin in Canada, from the humble penny, rest in peace, to the shiny new toonies. The Mint is like Canada's official storyteller, but instead of using books or TV shows, they use metal. They have massive workshops in Ottawa and Winnipeg, where they dream up these designs, strike the coins with incredible precision, and then send them out into the world. They're the reason your pocket can sometimes feel like a miniature museum, full of art, history, and national pride. So, why should you care? Because these coins are more than just money. They connect us to our past. When you find a special quarter celebrating the War of 1812, you're not just holding 25 cents, you're holding a reminder of a pivotal moment that shaped our nation. These coins are conversation starters. They're a way for your grandparents to tell you about the 1967 centennial celebration, or for you to learn about Terry Fox's incredible Marathon of Hope. It's history made accessible, taken out of the stuffy museums, and put right into the hands of everyday Canadians. And let's be honest, it's a treasure hunt. That's the real fun of it. The next time you get change from the corner store, take a second and look. Is that a regular caribou on your quarter? Or is it a soaring eagle, a colorful poppy, or a dinosaur skeleton? Finding one is a little victory. It's the thrill of discovering something unique, something different from the everyday. It turns a simple transaction into a moment of discovery. That's why people start collecting them. It's an easy, affordable, and incredibly rewarding hobby that starts with one simple question. Hey, what's this cool-looking quarter? Before Canada even had its own mint, which opened in 1908, we were already using special coins. These were mostly tokens and coins from Britain or other provinces. But the real story of Canadian commemoratives kicks off in 1935. This was a big deal. To celebrate the 25th anniversary of King George V's reign, the Mint released Canada's very first commemorative silver dollar. It featured a voyageur and a First Nations guide paddling a canoe, a design that became so iconic it's now a classic. This coin set the stage, proving that Canadians had an appetite for coins that told a story about our unique landscape and heritage. Fast forward to 1967. This was the big one. Canada turned 100, and the whole country threw a massive party called Expo 67. To mark the occasion, the Mint did something revolutionary. They replaced all the standard animal designs on our coins for 1 year only. The penny got a rock dove, the nickel got a rabbit, the dime a mackerel, and so on. The legendary artist Alex Colville designed the whole set. These centennial coins were everywhere, and they got an entire generation of Canadians hooked on collecting. It was a brilliant way to put national pride into everyone's pocket for our 100th birthday. The party didn't stop there. The Olympics came to Canada not once but twice, and the Mint went into overdrive. For the 1976 Montreal Summer Olympics, they launched a massive program of silver coins, showcasing different Olympic sports and symbols. It was one of the most ambitious commemorative coin programs the world had ever seen. Then, for the 2010 Vancouver Winter Olympics, they did it again, releasing a series of quarters that celebrated winter sports. Millions of people were checking their change, looking for the skier, the curler, and the sledge hockey player. It was a national obsession. From there, innovation became the name of the game. In 1987, the dollar bill was replaced by the loonie, and its instant popularity showed that Canadians were open to change. Then came the toonie in 1996. But the real game changer was in 2004, when the Royal Canadian Mint released the world's first colored circulation coin, a 25-cent piece with a red poppy. It was a beautiful and moving tribute to our veterans. This opened the floodgates for more creativity, leading to glow-in-the-dark coins, coins with unique shapes, and the spectacular Canada 150 series in 2017, which celebrated our 150th anniversary with a whole new set of beautiful designs. First up, you've got your circulation commemoratives. These are the coins you can actually find in your change. They are the workhorses of the commemorative world. The mint makes millions of them and releases them across the country through banks. The whole point is for as many people as possible to see them and think about the event they're celebrating. Think of the 2017 Canada 150 quarters or the Terry Fox loonie. They're made from the same metals as regular coins like nickel and steel, and they're worth their face value. But to a collector, they're the gateway drug, the first taste of the treasure hunt that gets you hooked. Next, we have the fancy stuff collector coins, also known as non-circulating legal tender, or NCLT. You won't get these back as change from a vending machine. These are the coins the mint creates specifically for collectors. They are often made of precious metals like pure silver or gold, and feature incredibly detailed artistic designs. They come in special protective cases with a certificate of authenticity. Think of these as the limited edition director's cut versions of coins. They cost more than their face value because you're paying for the artistry, the precious metal, and their rarity. Then there are the bullion coins. These are for the investors, the people who see coins as a solid asset. The most famous Canadian bullion coin is the maple leaf. It comes in gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. While they do have a face value, for example, a 1-ounce gold maple leaf has a face value of $50, their real worth is tied to the current market price of the precious metal they're made from. These coins are all about purity and weight. The mint guarantees that a 1-ounce gold maple leaf contains exactly 1 ounce of 0.9999 fine gold, making it a trusted and respected investment around the world. Finally, you have the wild and wonderful world of special themes and innovations. This is where the Mint's creative team really lets loose. We're talking about micro-series, small sets of coins released over time that tell a bigger story, like the series on Canadian dinosaurs or birds of prey. This category also includes all the technological firsts that the Canadian Mint is famous for. Coins that glow in the dark, coins with embedded crystals, coins shaped like a maple leaf, and even coins with tiny little sculptures on them. These are conversation pieces blending the art of coin making with cutting-edge technology to create something truly unique. If you're going to talk about famous Canadian coins, you have to start with the 1935 Voyager silver dollar. This was the coin that started it all. It was our first ever commemorative dollar, and its design is pure Canadiana. It shows a Voyager and a First Nations man paddling a canoe under the northern lights with a windswept pine tree on a tiny island. It's a powerful image of exploration and the vast Canadian wilderness. Created by sculptor Emmanuel Hahn, this design was so beloved that it became the standard image on our dollar coin for decades, right up until the loonie took over. It's the granddaddy of Canadian commemoratives. Next on the list is the complete 1967 Centennial coin set. This wasn't just one coin, it was the whole shebang. To celebrate 100 years of Confederation, the Mint commissioned artist Alex Colville to redesign every single coin from the penny to the dollar. He chose Canadian wildlife, giving us the rock dove, rabbit, mackerel, bobcat, wolf, and a flying goose on the dollar. These designs were simple, elegant, and modern. For an entire year, every Canadian had a piece of art in their pocket. This set is what turned thousands of regular folks into coin collectors. It's a snapshot of a proud moment in our history. You can't have a list of famous coins without mentioning the 1988 Calgary Winter Olympics series. While the Montreal series was huge, the Calgary coins were special because they really leaned into showcasing dynamic winter sports on a set of 10 stunning silver coins. You could find coins depicting downhill skiing, speed skating, hockey, and more. They were beautifully designed and captured the energy and excitement of the games. These coins, sold to help fund the Olympics, were a massive success and brought Canadian coin artistry to a global stage. They are a perfect example of how coins can capture the spirit of a national celebration. Of course, we have to talk about the 2004 Red Poppy Quarter. This coin was a landmark moment, not just for Canada, but for the entire world. It was the first ever colored circulation coin. The splash of red on the poppy was striking and deeply meaningful, a vibrant tribute to the sacrifices of our veterans on Remembrance Day. People were amazed. They had never seen a coin like it. The technology was groundbreaking, but more importantly, the coin connected with Canadians on an emotional level. It proved that a coin could be both a piece of currency and a powerful symbol of remembrance. Finally, let's talk about the loonie. The $1 coin, introduced in 1987, wasn't originally intended to be a commemorative, but its story has become legendary. The original dies for the new dollar coin, which was supposed to feature the classic Voyager design, were lost in transit. To prevent counterfeiting, the government had to scrap the old design and quickly come up with a new one. The result was Robert Ralph Carmichael's simple, elegant design of a common loon floating on water. Canadians quickly nicknamed it the loonie, and it became an instant icon. It's a perfect example of a happy accident becoming a beloved piece of our national identity. So you think you found a special coin? How can you be sure? Let's go through a quick checklist, like a detective examining clues. First, look at the two sides. Every coin has an obverse and a reverse. The obverse is the head side, which almost always features a portrait of the reigning monarch. In Canada, that means you'll see Queen Elizabeth II on most modern coins, though you might find older ones with her father, King George VI. The date the coin was made is usually on this side too. A commemorative will have a normal obverse, but the magic happens on the other side. The reverse side, or tails, is where the story is told. A standard quarter has a caribou. A standard dime has the blue nose schooner. If you see anything else, you might have a commemorative. Is it a hockey player? A superhero? A weird-looking dinosaur? That's your biggest clue. The design will be different from the usual, celebrating a specific theme. Sometimes the coin will even have two dates on it. For example, a coin celebrating the 50th anniversary of the Canadian flag might say 1965 to 2015. This is a dead giveaway that you're holding a piece of history. Next, consider the metal and color. Most of our circulation coins are made of multiply-plated steel, which gives them a familiar silver or copper color. If you find a coin that's a different color, pay attention. The most obvious example is the 2004 Poppy Quarter with its bright red center. Other coins have used blue, green and other colors to highlight parts of the design. Also, some special circulation coins like the Golden Moments Quarters from 2000 have a gold-colored plating. If it looks different from a regular coin in your hand, it's worth a closer look. Finally, look for the tiny details. Check for a mint mark. This is a small letter or symbol that tells you where the coin was made. Most Canadian coins are made in Winnipeg and might have a W mark or a maple leaf logo. Some collector coins are made in Ottawa. Also, look at the finish. A regular circulation coin has a standard, slightly shiny finish, but a collector coin might have a proof finish where the design is frosted and the background is like a mirror, or it might have a specimen finish with a mix of shiny and matte textures. These special finishes are a clear sign it's a coin made for collectors. Everyone wants to know if their cool-looking coin is worth a fortune. The answer is usually no, but sometimes yes. The most important factor in a coin's value is its mintage. This is just a fancy word for how many were made. If the Royal Canadian Mint made 20 million of a certain quarter, it's not going to be very rare. But if they only made 20,000 of a special silver dollar for collectors, then you're talking. The lower the mintage, the harder it is to find, and the more a serious collector is willing to pay for it. Rarity is king in the world of coin collecting. The second key factor is condition or grade. A coin that's been rattling around in pockets and cash registers for years will have scratches, dings, and worn-down details. This is called a circulated coin. A coin that has been kept safe from the moment it was made, with no scratches and all its details sharp and clear, is called uncirculated or mint state. The better the condition, the higher the value. A pristine, perfect version of a coin can be worth hundreds of times more than a beat-up one, even if they are the exact same coin. This is why collectors are so obsessed with keeping their coins safe. Next, there's demand. A coin is only worth what someone is willing to pay for it. Some coins are just more popular than others. Maybe the design is beautiful, or it celebrates a really popular event like the Olympics or a Stanley Cup victory. Sometimes, a coin becomes famous because of an error. For example, a coin might be struck with a small mistake, and collectors go wild trying to find these error varieties. The demand from the community of collectors can drive the price of a coin way up, even if its mintage wasn't particularly low. Popularity matters a lot. Finally, for some coins, the value comes from the metal itself. This is especially true for collector coins and bullion coins made from silver, gold, or platinum. These coins have an intrinsic value or melt value, which is the value of the precious metal they contain. This value can change every day with the global markets for gold and silver. So, a 1-ounce silver coin will always be worth at least the price of an ounce of silver, regardless of its rarity or condition. For these coins, you're not just collecting a piece of history, you're holding a tangible asset. So, you want to start collecting? Fantastic! The best way to begin is simply by looking at the change you get every day. This is called coin roll hunting. Go to the bank and ask for a few rolls of quarters, dimes, or loonies. Take them home, open them up, and go through them one by one. You're looking for anything that looks different? Commemoratives, older dates, or coins with interesting errors. You can use a checklist from a coin catalog or a website to see what's out there. When you're done, you just roll the coins back up and return them to the bank. It's a treasure hunt that costs you nothing. Once you've got the bug, you might want to buy specific coins. The safest place to start is directly from the Royal Canadian Mint's website. They sell all their new collector coins there, so you know you're getting the real deal. For older coins, a local coin shop is a great resource. The people who work there are usually passionate collectors themselves and can give you good advice. Coin shows are another fun option. These are big events where dozens of dealers set up tables, and you can browse thousands of coins. Just take your time, look around, and don't be afraid to ask questions. Now, a word of caution. Be careful of fakes. Counterfeit coins are out there, especially online. If you're buying from a site like eBay, stick to sellers with a long history of positive reviews. Be wary of deals that seem too good to be true. A rare silver dollar selling for $10 is a huge red flag. A real coin will have sharp, clear details, while fakes often look soft or blurry. The weight might also be wrong. If you're unsure, it's always best to buy from a reputable dealer or have an expert take a look before you spend your hard-earned money. Most importantly, collect what you love. Don't worry about what's most valuable right away. Do you love animals? Collect the Wildlife series. Are you a big hockey fan? There are tons of coins celebrating Canadian hockey history. The point of a hobby is to have fun. Your collection should be a reflection of your own interests and passions. It's your personal museum, so fill it with the stories that you find interesting. That's the real treasure. Your collection will mean more to you if you build it around the things that you genuinely enjoy learning about. You've started your collection, and now you have a few special coins. Don't just toss them in an old jar. The number one enemy of a coin's condition is damage from bumping into other coins. The simplest and cheapest way to protect individual coins is with 2x2 cardboard holders. These are little cardboard squares with a clear plastic window in the middle. You place the coin in the window, fold the square in half, and staple it shut. They protect the coin from scratches and fingerprints, and you can write details like the year and type on the cardboard border. For your growing collection, you'll want to get a proper coin album or binder. These are specially designed books with pages that have slots for your coins. You can get albums made for specific sets, like the Centennial coins or the Canada 150 series, with a labeled space for each coin. This is a great way to see your progress and display your collection in an organized way. It's incredibly satisfying to fill in the last empty slot in a set. Plus, it keeps all your treasures neatly organized and protected from the elements on a bookshelf. When you handle your coins, especially the shiny, uncirculated ones, be very careful. The oils on your fingers can leave permanent smudges and damage the coin surface over time, reducing its value. The best practice is to hold a coin by its edges, between your thumb and forefinger. Never grab it by the flat faces. For your most valuable coins, you might even want to wear soft cotton or nitrile gloves. It might feel a bit like you're performing surgery, but it's the best way to preserve the pristine condition of your best pieces for years to come. Finally, think about where you store your collection. The worst place is somewhere damp, like a basement, or somewhere with extreme temperature changes, like an attic. Moisture and humidity are terrible for coins and can cause spotting or corrosion. A dry, stable environment is best. A drawer or a closet in the main part of your house is perfectly fine for most collections. For very valuable collections, some people use a safe deposit box at a bank. The key is to keep them dry, stable, and secure, so your pocket-sized pieces of history will stay beautiful for a lifetime. So here's the thing, at the end of the day, we're talking about little pieces of metal, but they are so much more than that. This isn't just a hobby for people with magnifying glasses and funny hats, although they are welcome too. This is for everyone. This is a way to connect with our country on a whole new level. Every time the Mint releases a coin for Black History Month, or for the anniversary of women's right to vote, or to honor an indigenous artist, they are making a statement. They are saying, this story matters, this person matters, this is part of who we are. Think about it. We put Terry Fox on a loonie, a man who ran halfway across the country on one leg to raise money for cancer research. We put his face on our money. That's incredible. It tells you something about what we value as a country. We value courage, perseverance, and helping others. We put a poppy on a quarter, a symbol of remembrance known around the world. We're not just celebrating old kings and politicians, we're celebrating the ideas and the people that truly define the Canadian spirit. It's a national conversation, and it's happening in our pockets. And let's be clear, this is one of the most accessible hobbies on the planet. You don't need a trust fund or a fancy degree, you just need curiosity and a little bit of patience. You can start with the change from your lunch money. You can involve your kids, your grandkids, your neighbors. It's a fantastic way to teach young people about Canadian history, geography, and art in a way that's tangible and exciting. It's a hands-on history lesson. Finding a coin from 1967 is way more exciting than just reading about the centennial in a textbook. So my advice to you is simple. Start looking. Check your change. Go to the bank and get a roll of quarters. See what you can find. You might not find $1 million rarity on your first try, but I guarantee you will find something that makes you stop and think. You'll find a piece of art, a slice of history, or a tribute to a Canadian hero. You'll be holding a story. And in a world that's moving faster every day, taking a moment to look down and connect with one of those stories is a pretty wonderful thing. It's your history. Go out and collect it.